Weekend continues as we go to Pietermaritzburg, KZN, as we continue our Sunday programs at Scottsville Racecourse. And of course, it is the social media handles that we would love you to familiarize yourselves with. You can get hold of us. You can get hold of our esteemed colleagues, Daryl Marie and, of course, Mr. Darren Burrows, to hear their thoughts. And perhaps it might just slip you a winner or two if you ask them nicely. But, of course, a double header of sport with the final of the Betway T20 also taking place. That will be the defending champions, the SEC, hoping to lower the sales of the very, very rampant Durban team. But that's all in cricket. Let's talk about racing. Racing on Sunday. We started with a juvenile plate, 1,000 meters a trip, and it seems like the tipsters don't even want to know about anything else apart from Grove Field. Jurgens Governor seems to have found or unearthed another decent 2-year-old in the making.
Cecil, I don't know if you recall, on debut there was a lot of anti-post support for him. He drifted out time of the race because Fine One had a run under his belt and he was expected to go one better in his second start. But Grovefield gave him a big scare. He looked very dangerous. Now, I don't know, they're betting 16 to 10 Grovefield and 17 to 10 Glamours. I don't know how that's possible, because if you have a look at Grovefield on debut, he beat Sunka Wakan by 5.5 lengths. Now, Sunka Wakan and Glamours, there's nothing separating the two of them. So on a line through Sunka Wakan, I mean, Grovefield holds Glamours quite comfortably. So I think at 16 to 10, he actually may represent some value, and I'm happy bankering him in the opening leg of the bipod.
Right, we will have a look at that bipod shortly. Let's just get the thoughts of Mr. Burrows. A very good day to you, Mr. Burrows, once again. Grovefield 16 to 10. Maybe that adage that 2-year-olds are precocious, I think is the word that's normally used. The improvement rate may differ from horse to horse. Let's go to Mr. Burrows and hear his thoughts. 16 to 10, 17 to 10, the top two.
Well, Cecil, this horse Grovefield, that was a very good debut. He moved up to Fine One. He was just outrun by a better horse and more experienced horse on the day. But I do recall seeing him in the parade ring, and there was something hanging between his legs, and I do believe that he needs gelding. So that is one concern, that he is looking for gelding. But strictly on that first run, I think he'll win.
Okay, so it is a confident banker, as we now confirm at the bipod selection, which comes to a total outlay of 180 Rand, courtesy of Daryl Marie. Banker the 5 Grovefield to certainly be in that first two, and should at 16 to 10 justify being favourite, although perhaps could be shorter. Again, it is about early bird catches the worm. So as soon as you see this broadcast, do jump on to that price of 16 to 10 race 1, number 5 Grovefield. Jurgens Governor and jockey Sean Beale. Mobile betting visit, that is www.trackandball.co.za. Maiden plate is over the 1950 race number 2, leg 1 of the place accumulated 13:15 as the off time to race number 2. And our favorite currently from the Jurgens Governor stable, and I see there has been a bit of a nibble already at We Stock Market Bourse is the word, and that is Robert Carty this time, who is carded to ride, but I see he's not riding on Friday in a PE, so we'll just have to play it by ear. He is medically indisposed. But Mr. Burrows, riding arrangements aside, 2 to 1, is that a fair price or a bit on the skinny side? Rainbow Rose, your favorite at 18 to 10.
Very limited field, I must say. We Stock Market Bourse had 12 starts in the maidens. She's quite a small filly. She's done well in the maidens, but it's not a strong field, so she's got a big winning chance. But others to consider, Rainbow of Roses. Now, this filly's had less starts. She's improved with each and every start. She should be competitive. But the value definitely lies with Floral Fantasy. She's only had 2 starts. She's looking for ground, and she's the improver in the race. So I'm going to actually tip the 7 to 1 shot Floral Fantasy to beat your current 2 favorites, 1 and 3.
Well, it seems great minds that think alike, Mr. Marie. Off air, you did tell me, and I looked at you twice, looking at the favorites, and then, of course, now that it has been partly dissected, you can complete the puzzle for us.
Yes, yes, Snap. I can't believe the price with regards to Floral Fantasy. The other two are more exposed, and at this stage they appear very limited. Here's a filly, number 2, Floral Fantasy, who's had 2 fair efforts to date. I mean, they're not earth-breaking or ground-shattering or whatever, but she's got so much scope for improvement. I watched her later start, and near the near the latter stages, she really did her best work late, and being out of a Fort Wood mare, I think the step up in trip is really what she's looking for. And if she does stay, I'll say she'll go very close to winning. So I'm going to be having a flutter. I think she represents a lot of value. There's no guarantee that she is going to be more effective over the 1950, but just from what I've seen, I think she's certainly got the most scope for improvement. And I think at this stage, there's no doubt she is worth a tickle.
Right. So I think if I tell you that Daryl Marie has got a PA for us, it is first leg a confident banker, and it has been endorsed by Mr. Darren Burrows himself, 8-1. Wow, I think this weekend, if we really do pay attention to weighted to win, courtesy of Betway, proudly brought to you by Betway, we could be on a very, very profitable run indeed. That is your PA starting at 1:15 with the running of race 2. Right, race number 3 is the first leg of the Pick Six. We should be underway with the maiden plate over the 1200 meters at 10 minutes to 2. And currently the market has the 5 Run to Rio as your favorite Stu Ferry and Shauna Veal team up 14-10. And then the 4 Mar del Plata is your second favorite at 3-1. And number 7 Silver Savage is next best at 9-2. Was fancied last time out, but not so this time. 7-1 about the 2 Cataval coupled with the 4 Mar del Plata. Now, first of all, Mr. Burrows, we come to you, sir. And any word about the first timer, Clever Ori, an oratorio out of Lundy's liability mare Bursary to race with the earmuffs on Debo, Craig Zaki, and Dean Canamere?
Nothing as yet, and there hasn't been market support. I think it's trading at 11-1. So I would include it, but I'm going to have to lean towards Mar del Plata. His first run as a gelding, he showed drastic improvement. And on that run, he does hold number 7, Silver Savage. So I think Mar del Plata is going to build on that effort and rate the horse to beat. I would include Run to Ria. He's consistent. He's going to win his maiden one of these days. And then Catavar. Now, on that Meant to Fly run, he holds Silver Savage quite comfortably. And last time out, he blew the start. So you could put a line through that last effort.
Okay, so that is the first choice being the 4 Mar del Plata, improvement after that gelding, and got the better of the stable companion. Obviously, excuses for the stable companion, the 2 Catabars pointed out by Darren. But we are going to have a Pick Six from you, and how wide would you go the first leg?
I only put 3 runners, but if you want to add one other, Cecil, I'll add in number 2, Catavar.
Okay.
But my perm was quite costly as it is. I think it's standing at 14.40. You know, Dean Canamere, any horse with ability, he says it include in exotics. That's his standard comment for an unraced horse. And yeah, he said will need the run. So it's certainly not fancied based on that. You know, Run to Rio, I was slightly disappointed last time out when trying the blinkers for the first time. He was absolutely cruising going through the 400, and he didn't run his race off. In saying that, he finished well clear of the balance of the field, and Heaven's Will, who's close on 4 lengths behind him, came out and won his next start. Just doesn't give you...
Last Sunday, Scotswood.
Yeah, it doesn't give you the confidence going down. He's choppy. Whereas Mar del Plata, last time out, when he moved down to the start, I said this horse has to go into all trifectas and quartets, and he looked outstanding, so certainly benefited from the gelding. If you like his chances, Craig Zaki's mount, Silver Savage isn't, I mean, Craig Zaki rode last time. Serena Moodley's mount, Silver Savage, isn't too far behind him, and he's having his peak run. So I went numbers 4, 5, and 7. Like I said, if you want to add one more, add in the 2.
Okay, that is the story of race number 3, the first leg of the Pick Six. We're having a look at Daryl's Pick Six selection shortly. And of course, be reminded the first time a rule on the tote does come through. So if any of 4, 5, and 7 should chase home the first timer. At the moment, doesn't seem to be the case, but if that does happen, any of the 4, 5, and 7 running closest to the first timer will see you through that first leg of the pick 6. That is race 3. A reminder: 10 minutes to 2 is off time to that third of 8. On we go with the show. It is now moving on to the first jackpot to get underway in a race number 4. 8 races on the card, so race 5 will see the start of a jackpot 2. But let's just talk about race number 4 before we get an exotic perspective from Darren. Mr. Marie, race number 4. This is the maiden plate over the 1400 meters. Captain Masada, Gareth Van Sern in good form with stable jockey Atani Wemgutla. This will be after 2 seconds and a third. Ready to get out of those maidens?
You mentioned stable jockey, Cecil. There's a few whispers abound that he may not be stable jockey anymore, or I don't know what the case is, but yeah, Captain Masala. Wasn't a fan of him last time out. I thought the trip is too short, but he did fairly well. And by now we'll know if that form line's been franked. In the previous race with Run to Rio, Heavens will frank that form line. So he's going to strip fitter and he's going a more suitable trip. So only having his 5th start, I can see him winning. Then you have Helsinki. Now he gave a lot of weight away last time out in a maiden handicap. He's thereabouts. Tongue tie goes on for the first time. He gets a nice 2.5 kgs off his back with the apprentice that's really riding with a lot of confidence, Dihaba. So I've included him. The horse I like is Future Flow and Form. I mean, you can just go back to his form lines. Kupaliwe, Rapidash, Main Defender. What I don't like about him is the way he hangs. And he must have some sort of issue. But the day he runs straight, Cecil, he's more than capable of just winning a maiden and more. So on paper, I like Future Flow. I don't like the fact that he comes with his issues. So I backed him up with Helsinki and Captain Masala.
Yeah, I think Future Flow, the day it gets drawn near the inside running rail, because it seems to hang in all the time, or maybe, I don't know. But no, nice one there. And of course, we await to hear more about Atandua and Gareth. They've done well, ever so well together. Mr. Burrows, it is a jackpot coming through from you. 378 Rand is the total outlay. I know we have a banker from you. And in race number 4, is this the classic Burrows Way field, or you're going to go light here?
I've gone quite wide. Reason why, because a horse like Future Flow, if you look at the pedigree, he's out of Flo Joe, who's bred Razor Hallelujah, who stays up to 2,800 meters. I would like to see this horse run over 2,000 meters, and I would put the money down. But now they're dropping him back to 1,400 meters, and he's a long striding. He takes time to unwind. So I don't understand that. But he can win. I mean, he has been a bit costly to follow, but I would like to see him over a lot more ground. Now, Torix Knight's got a chance, as well as Helsinki. Helsinki was staying on at the finish, 57.5 kilos, big swing in the weights. Captain Masala was in need of that last run and will appreciate the step up in trip, and Futurlicious as well.
So an interesting start to that jackpot, and of course we can reveal your bank as we put up your selection. That comes about in the last leg, race number 7, and that is number 9, Rapid Dash for MJ Ordendal and Bourbon Pluckies, the 4 kg claiming apprentice. Yes, the Future Flows, all the talk here. There's that to run that. Just a third, a length and a half, just under a length and a half behind the now millionaire Rapid Dasher. And that is the jackpot. Race 4, 14.25 is the off time to that first leg of the first jackpot. Race number 5 is the Pinnacle Stakes over the 1,500 meters, and quite a competitive heat we have in front of us. And I think the market tells the story. It is betting 5-1 of the field, and that is numbers 3 rather, Malcolm's Dream, and the 5 for sure, who's been adjusted in from 11-2 to 5-1, whilst the 4 Ice Sensation has gone the other way, 5-1 out to 11-2. Yes, a trappy contest, a Pinnacle Stakes. So what do you make of this present, the 5th of 8?
I've only gone 5 horses, and I hope I get through here. So
Yes.
I don't have much to add to the preview of this race, Cecil. Kayleen, she had a few excuses in her comeback run. She does well at Scottsville. She's gone in. Princess Arlo fluffed it at the start last time out. Certainly wouldn't be surprised to see her bounce back in her peak run of year. Looks like she does have ability, but maybe things just have to go away. Maybe her confidence is lacking at the moment, but she's so well bred. Malcolm's Dream, now since she's moving better, she's certainly on the upgrade. I've gone with her as an inclusion. Ice Sensation or Sensation, I don't know about this trip, but she's ultra consistent, and I certainly wouldn't be surprised. And then for sure, another one who's probably one of the most unlucky fillies in racing. Always things tend to go wrong for her, but if the pace is on, which it appears as if it will be, because Valeria's Dream and one other likes to set the pace over here, Princess Arlo. If the pace is on and she settles, she could certainly win. And you know that Mr. Priggy from Masundram has kept her. So I'm sure Duncan Els is saying, please just give me a chance with her. She'll win her races.
For sure, that is one of the handful that has been retained by Mr. Pregis Masandram, trained by Duncan Els. And if memory serves me right, I think it was Mr. Furi who was aboard winning. I just looked at the form. Mr. Burrows, it is a Pinnacle Stakes, 1,500 meters is the trip. And I was just saying 5-1 the field. I think that tells the story in itself.
Definitely. You know, Cecil, I can't give you confidence, but I can tell you for sure we'll either win or run last. So, so I don't know how much confidence that is, but she's that type of filly because 3 runs back, she was odds-on favourite. She just never travelled, and she ran stone last. Her penultimate start in a feature race, she returned to form running a length off Rocky Reef. That was a cracking effort. And last time out, she was tailed off once again. She moved up and then just found nothing. So I don't know. It all depends on how she moves and how she settles. But I can see her trotting up in this type of race. And I can also see her disappointing. So I would have a small bet on her, but I wouldn't go each way because I don't think she'll run a place. I think she'll either win or run nowhere. So others to consider: Princess Arlo, Malcolm's Dream, Ice Sensation, Kayleen, Lucky Miss, Lady Heist. So it's pretty much the whole field have chances, but for sure, I'm hoping she puts it together.
Okay, so that is in those familiar green silks and green and black silks of Pegis and Masandram. And there's confirmation at around 5-1 you can't get hurt with an each-way suggestion. And given some of the confidence we've had throughout the card, you could take a winner place or to come with the suggestions from our panel. That is race number 5, Pinnacle Stakes. We should be underway at 3 o'clock. Well, I think it is fair to say, with absolutely no disrespect, usual suspects renew their rivalries, and I'm talking about the likes of Bella Sycomre, Adabar, and Cape Eagle. But Mr. Burrows, looking at this non-black type feature over the 1950 and Umtomboti Stakes over that 1950, looks to be another contest to look forward to. We have seen them on many occasions, but it seems that the result could turn around with perhaps an adjustment in weights.
Definitely. I thought quite an open race if you're looking past Cape Eagle. Now, Cape Eagle, last time out, he just hit a flat spot and then he quickened up again. I think the 1900 is going to be more suited to him. He could dictate his own fractions up front, but it all depends on the pace. Now, you got Bella Sycomre. She beat Cape Eagle last time out, and it's the same weight. She receives 9 kilos once again. You've got Adabar. He can prove a strong front runner as well. And last time out, he just went too fast and he faded out of contention very late on. Mexican Pete's above average. He won his first 3 starts. It could have been the wrong move going for the Dingons on the high fault. That can take a lot out of a horse from KZN. And last time out was just in need of that run, not striding out as well. Sea Goddess, only 51 kilos. Could get into the action, and don't ignore Q Wing. He's better off at the weights with Cape Eagle on that last run, and he's got a terrific turn of foot on his day. So if you're looking past Cape Eagle, I would go a number of horses.
number of horses, and I hope that is what we're going to have in the pick three, or are we not? You're a man who sometimes makes a statement, and in this particular instance, in the non-black tie feature, race 6, what are you doing?
Cecil, I've gone 2 horses only,
Okay.
but the race doesn't stop there. Like Darren, said you can make a case for several of you. I watched the Michael Roberts stakes last time out, and obviously Adabar stretched them out a long way from home, and Cape Eagle actually had a great sit in second. That was the first time Serena had ridden him, and he came into the straight and Serena sat and sat, and then when he asked him, Bella Sokomi actually quickened better than what he did. And if you watch the latter stages of that race, Cape Eagle was rallying and coming back at Bella Sokomi. So in my mind, I think now that Serena knows him better in a race, and the fact that he's settling in his races now, I think he's going to reverse the form with Bella Sokomi and confirm the form with those that finished behind him in the Michael Roberts. So he's one of my horses. The other one I've added is Sea Goddess. Now, this filly at Scottsville is at her best, and she's used to carrying hefty masses. And yeah, you get Nicholas Patel, who gets another chance for Louis Gerson, who I think was a very, very unlucky on loser on Oso Squishy. So I think Nicholas will certainly want to get this one's head in front this time around for the stable. She's not the best weighted of here, but she's certainly not the worst weighted. You know, Bella Sokomi is clearly the best weighted, but the next best in is a net 103, and she's a net 102. So she is well in of here, barring for Bella Sokomi, who's the best weighted. But I think 51 to shoulder at Scottsville in a small field, she likes to be given a chance. She won't have much ground to make up. She's gonna be the biggest danger to Cape Eagle in my mind. So 4 and 5 over here.
4 and 5, and the total outlay to what is your pick three, which we're going to put up on a screen, would be how much? Well, we'll see on the screen itself shortly. But just the 2 horses in the first leg of that pick three. It is our non-black tie feature for the afternoon. 15 at 35, that will be the start of 32 Rand. That is very much up the Daryl Marie Alley, as we see on the screen. Thank you so much for those selections. So 2 to begin with, as we progress through to races 7 and 8. It is a great weekend of racing, and we're getting to the tail end of the weekend with 2 more at Hollywood Bets. Scottsville, Pietermaritzburg, race number 7. This is a Fillies and Mares 86 handicap. They'll be going over the dash of the 1,000 meters, and we already know what the jackpot that was compiled for us by Darren Burrows is going to use as a banker. That comes about. We'll get more on his thoughts as to why he's gone the banker route, the 9 rapid fire. But for you, anything you can oppose the rapid fire with, or you would suggest as an exactor?
Cecil, let me just put it to you this way. I thought her opportunity to win another race was her best opportunity was last time out, and she shouldn't have lost. She lost her race at the start. She then had to switch out to the middle of the course, and she was a hard luck loser on that occasion. She can certainly win this race. I just think that race was an easier opportunity for her. On paper, she should be able to reverse the form with Isn't She Bonnie? And also what went wrong with her in the race. Certainly one has to favor her over Isn't She Bonnie? But Isn't She Bonnie probably was in need of that start, and she's going to strip fitter. She's always been highly regarded by the stable. I've got a preference for Rapid Fire. Let's hope she can get it right, because she does deserve another victory based on what happened to her last time out. I did back her up with number 1, Gets in the Queue. Now, this daughter by Karari has always been held in high regard. She's very pacey. She's at her best at Scottsville. And if you look at her form when returning from a rest, she does extremely well. So I know that she might be better over the 1200 at this stage of her career, but she's got a lot of toe and she's going to be racing fresh. So if she gets a clean break and she's on her bicycle, I could certainly see her featuring up here. So I've gained 1 and 9, respect for 4 and 5.
Right, so we know it is a jackpot suggested by Mr. Burrows, where it is number 7 banker in that last leg, Rapid Fire. Good case made for Rapid Fire by Daryl, and perhaps you would just like to put the icing on the cake, Mr. Burrows.
Well, last time out, I mean, at the start, they squeezed her out over 1,000 meters. And then she switched towards the inside of the track, making a run down the rail, and they squeezed her out once again. He had to then switch around 5 runners to the outside and get her going. And she was lashing home to get beaten half a length. Another 2 strides, she gets up to win. So I have to give her another chance in this type of race with only 52 kilos. She's drawn hard up on the outside, so she shouldn't have any problems getting out the gates and being in the open. And I'm hoping that she can just run on by the final 200 meters because she's so well handicapped.
Right, so well handicapped, and at the moment the price I saw this morning was 9-2 about a rapid fire bidding for that 5th win from 33 outings. Their 6-year-old daughter of Kirari, MJ Ordendal, whose charges are in good form in those what are familiar source of Mr. Adam Kethro, and that is Adam Kethro Property Trust nominee, Mr. Adam Kethro. That is race number 7 and each way selection for that penultimate event of the afternoon, or you could even take place on it to a winner in your fancy, with your fancy in that 8th and final race. But I do say, with all sincerity, we have been guided and guided very, very intelligently by both Darren and Daryl. It is up to us to join the pieces.